There are farmers who are looking for money to grow and build their business. And there are people who are looking for businesses like agriculture to invest in. Now, one man has built a mobile app to serve as more than just the middleman between the farmers and the investors. Now, on this episode of Startups, I'll be speaking to the founder and CEO of Farmcrowdy. Join me.
We look at the value chain, look at the crop and say, where does this crop grow the most in the country? Where will we get the highest yield as a result of planting this crop? So we go to those communities and we identify cooperatives in those communities we can work with. The cooperatives are the association of farmers in those communities. It's these cooperatives that select the best hands they have that they feel they can work with us on the project. My name is Onyeka Akuma, and I'm the founder and CEO of Farmcrowdy.
Think of it as a fixed deposit. Farmcrowdy allows you to invest in a farm of your choice, and you get a return on your investment after a farm cycle of 4 to 12 months. Onyeka Akuma started his Agritech company in 2016 after hitting a roadblock while trying to invest in agriculture. He solved that problem for himself and is now helping farmers and investors do the same.
People wanted to invest in farms, in farmers. I too wanted to do the same thing. And then in discovering the farmer I was going to work with, I discovered that farmers had peculiar problems, problems like access to funding, problems like technical know-how, problems like where do they sell what they've produced. On the other hand, you had so many people that wanted to invest in these farmers, but do you know how? The farmers to trust, or the farmers to put their money and they'll get a return after harvest. So I was in that position, and then I discovered with this so many people looking at connecting with these farmers, we could build a platform that will allow the farmers now provide their farms through our platform to these individuals, so that they can now sponsor farms on our platform. And then we get the monies, we get the right inputs, we provide the technical knowledge, we provide the market for the farmers to sell, and at the end of the season, everybody gets a share of the profit.
Onyeka has a decade-long experience in the digital space. His expertise in tech now plays a big role in facilitating his startup. Farmers and sponsors can now download their mobile app or sign up on their website to get started.
There are two entry points in Farmcrowdy. You can come in as a farm follower, or you can come in as a farm sponsor. And it will be good to explain how this works. So the farm follower comes on the platform and says, oh, I'm not interested in sponsoring at this time. I just want to see how your process works. I want to get updates from the farm. And so we provide that to this farm follower. And so they're getting those updates in pictures, videos, and text about what's happening on the farm. And then at the end of the cycle, what happens is we just see a good chunk of them converted to becoming farm sponsors. So on our mobile app, which we built to get this farm following grow, we have over 90,000 people that have downloaded that app across iOS, Android platform. If you follow farm, if there's a farm that's available for you to sponsor, you get to see the number of units that are available, you get to see the return after harvest, and at that point in time, you could go ahead, just like any e-commerce website, and decide how many units you want to sponsor. So I want to do 10 units, I sponsor 10 units, I put my card, and I sponsor. And immediately you get a dashboard that allows you to see the updates about what's happening on that farm, see your expected return when it's going to come back to you, and then you also have a customer service representative that's able to engage with you, assuming you have any questions to ask. So pretty much it's that simple. It's as simple as going to an e-commerce store to buy a pair of shoes. We come on the Farmcrowdy platform, we decide across maize, rice, cassava, soybeans, chicken, cow farms, and then you sponsor.
Onyeka's first experience sponsoring a farm was a near disaster. There were lots of mistakes and lots of lessons learned.
There was a lady farmer in Ibadan, Oyo State of Nigeria, and what happened was we told her to raise 500 day-old chicks. and we raised all the money. It took us about 6 weeks to raise the full money we needed for that lady to do the work on the farm. 6 weeks to raise about $2,000. I mean, because it was a pretty new model, people were still skeptical about the idea. I mean, today now it takes us a week to raise $1 million if we want to for farming activities. But then it was 6 weeks to raise $2,000. And what happened was we raised those monies and allowed the farmer, we bought the input, so day-old chicks, the feeds, sterilization, the vaccines. We were able to pay for all of that. And she did a fantastic work. She raised those birds but there was a lot of learning. So one of the things was, we didn't know that the birds shouldn't go beyond a certain weight if you want to sell commercially. We were looking at letting these birds be as big as possible. And that was our goal at that time. But what happened was she did her best. The birds were weighing 4 kg and more. And then at the harvest season, we mopped up the birds, prepared some of them, and then transported some of them. But along the road, the truck broke down, and we lost about 300 of those 500 birds. This immediately showed us other forms of risk we needed to mitigate. We didn't tell the lady that we lost those birds because it would have broken her heart. This was a farmer that was on a daily basis almost sleeping in the pen with the birds to make sure they were healthy and make sure they were warm, and then she did her best at that. And what that immediately taught us was how to stay close to the market, was how to cover ourselves with insurance, was how to make sure that the logistics channel we're going to deploy was airtight, was how to make sure we got in our technical partners to be part of the process. And I mean, from raising 500 birds and losing 300 in the first cycle, today we've been able to raise over 1.7 million chickens, and our mortality rate is below 4%. So it shows how much we've been able to learn from 500 birds with our first farmer till date.
But the company has grown exponentially since then. 4,000 individuals have sponsored about 11,000 farmers across 13 states to date, providing them with funds, training, and the tech to scale their business.
The cassava farmers we worked with in Akwa Ibom, it went as far as they composed the theme song we're using today in Farmcrowdy to thank us for how much impact we had in their community. And the impact is so clear because when the example I used, the farmer has a 10,000 bed pen, but all his capacity sits on 2. The minute you make that farmer start producing 5,000 more, he's making more money, and it's clear impact. So these farmers are always appreciated. We have a lot of videos of them, we have a lot of testimonies from them. They're excited about the model because beyond us providing the resources for them to do the work on the farm, we provide the technical knowledge, which is important, and we provide the market that will give them the yield that makes them excited.
Onyeka had his eyes on the farm long before he started the business, and he saved a percent of his salary for 8 months to start up. Farmcrowdy has now received funding worth $2.4 million from international investors, and their challenge now is finding the right farmers to work with.
Because the way the Farmcrowdy model is built, it's time-bound. A sponsor says, we're going to give you your money, this money, and then you pay us back in 6 months. And so you've got to run that cycle where you've put seed in the ground, you've harvested, you've sold, and you've been paid back your money. So one of the challenges we faced earlier was signing deals with partners that had long-term policies or would delay beyond the cycle, and then one had to deal with all of those issues. So identifying the partners that are able to keep to the timeline is something that is a bit of a challenge, but we're beginning to find inroads in that regards as well. It's not a problem selling, but a problem selling and getting a partner that pays you in time. You can sell and then one holds on to your money for 90 days. And 90 days eats into the sponsorship time you're supposed to pay because the money we use on the farms, it's not our money, it's money we've raised from sponsors out there. So, and we need to pay them back in time. That's the integrity we have to keep. But you have a sponsor that then says, oh, I know I'm supposed to pay you now, but I'm going to do T plus 90 days. I'm like, how do I deal with the sponsor? So it's not a case of selling. I mean, there's always high demand for what we produce, and we make sure we pick those commodities that we can sell very quickly. But who is buying in time and paying in time?
To date, Farmcrowdy has cultivated over 16,000 acres of farmland, reared close to 2 million birds, and sold over 35,000 farm units. The farms are usually in high demand and are sold out as soon as they're available for sponsorship.
We had a ginger farm last week and it sold out in 1 hour. And people started saying, oh, we want more farms. And we can only open as much as we know we can handle. And so one of the things we've done is we've found a way of getting more farms on the platform. So there are going to be more farms coming up on the platform. And one of the ways we've gone around it is also getting people the opportunity to sponsor not just the production, but also the trading on the platform. And so that's why we launched recently Farmgate Africa, that allow people to sponsor on the trading side of agro commodities and not just on the production side. So today you'll be able to see varieties of options to sponsor. There are new farms that will come up every month in the year. So there's going to be a farm in April on the production side, and there are also farms that will be going live on Farmgate as well for you to sponsor. So there will be options, but the thing is we sell out as fast. I mean, you have 90,000 people waiting to snap up these units, and as soon as you push something out, they are all there taking it up.
Farmcrowdy's impact does not go unnoticed. They've now courted several awards both locally and internationally.
One of them was the Apps Africa Awards in Cape Town, where we won the best Agritech platform on the continent. I think that was something that was quite remarkable for us, because there are a lot of other very good platforms from all over the continent that were nominated and that the judges looked at. But Farmcrowdy won that award. I think that was very significant. All the awards we've received, whether it's also the best Agritech platform in the continent, we won that also in Ethiopia, was also remarkable. But all the awards we've received have been great. The one that also strikes, one that we're excited about, was getting a national honor from the president, where he conferred a national honor on Farmcrowdy as a business for the kind of work we're doing. I think that was remarkable, going to meet the number one citizen of the country and then receiving that award. I think that was also very encouraging for us.
Farmcrowdy has gained wide traction in a short space of time, but for Onyeka, the journey is still further ahead.
There are 38 million small-scale farmers all over Nigeria. We've only worked with 11,000. It's still a very small number. In the next 3 years, we gave ourselves a 5-year goal to work with 50,000 farmers in the next 3 years from now. We still want to do this, but beyond that is have an impact on the lives of over 1 million farmers, directly or indirectly. To also the Nigerian youths that get involved, that want to get involved in agriculture, the big goal is to be that platform they look at and they are excited about becoming farmers. We want to give them the information, we want to give them the platform to invest, we want to give them the platform to make money, we want to make them businessmen and women that have farms. And I think the big dream for us is that all the effort we're putting in place will allow these young Nigerians become farmers, and we spread that across the continent of Africa. The third thing is making sure that every farmer we meet and we work with grows by a minimum of 50% in his annual income. That is the impact we want in all the farmers we work with. And as long as we continue to achieve that, we are happy about the place we find ourselves. So it's not just about the number of farmers we've engaged with, but also the impact we've had in each individual farmer's life. The future I see is where farmers will start using drones to monitor their crops, to spray. A normal farmer, not a rich farmer, like a normal farmer understands how to use a drone to spray fertilizer on the farm, to use his drone to understand what goes on the farm. He understands how to send out a message, and then the marketplace players are available to mop up what he's harvested because he's now ready to sell. That is the future I want.
With additional funding, tech, and research, this startup has all the prospect of creating a revolution in Nigeria's agriculture industry. Wow, I think that was inspirational. How about you? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Meanwhile, this next entrepreneur we're going to visit practices an Asian crafts using colors and fabrics. Let's see how.
When I'm designing, I don't feel hunger, I don't get distracted, I don't feel like eating or anything. So I can design 24 hours without break. Like, I've once done that in school actually. Adira is my passion, so like, I will choose it over every other thing, except God. My name is Olayinka Binuyo. I'm the creative director for Adira.
Founder of Adira Kampala Nation, Binuyo Olayinka is in his zone. For him, chemicals and fabrics are more than what they seem. They are instruments of art and a means to express his creativity. He makes colorful and eye-catching outfits through a process called tie and dye, also known in Yoruba as Adira.
One of the things that led me to this point is my love for fashion. I love fashion, I love African arts, like our foreign ancient artifacts and the sculptures and everything. You know, there should be a way you don't necessarily know how to draw, but there are various ways you can express your artwork, and Adira is one of them. So this is one of the reasons why I joined Adira. And another thing is, I'm this kind of person that loves to be self-employed. You know, I don't want to finish school and start looking for jobs here and there. I want to be my own CEO. I want to own my own clothing line. So that was what drew me into this Adira making.
Binuyo is a 200-level student of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, but he's not letting school get in the way. He devised a method to balance work and school, started up with only 500 naira, and now earns as much as 20,000 naira per week.
This was how it went. I got that worth 500 naira. I didn't buy any kind of fabric yet because I have some white materials at home that I have like my personal clothes. I brought them out. The only color I bought at first was blue because blue was my favorite color. So I got blue, royal blue. So after watching like 2 or 3 videos online, my pleating was very, very rough. It was looking very ugly and messy, but yet that was not a discouragement because I know when you start something, you don't expect it to be very, very smooth because every good thing starts on a very rough way. So like I didn't let that discourage me. So like when I did my first design, it was not what I was expecting myself because I knew I didn't do a very good job, but for a starter, I gave myself the credit. So like after I did the first time, I did the second one. The second practical I did was dyeing a black jean. So after I finished dyeing the black jean, it was still coming out very, very white. Though it was black, yes, but it was looking faded. That was because the proportion at which I mixed the chemical, one was more than the other. The one that was more was meant to be lesser than the other. So like it came out very, very messy. But still, I kept on pushing on.
After that first experiment, he saw potential for growth and founded Adira Kampala Nation in March 2018. His best bet at learning was experience, and he remembers his early days with euphoria.
Wow, mistakes. I've made a whole lot of mistakes. Like then, mistake was like my middle name. But I thank God that as I now I've gotten to know all my mistakes and I've been able to correct them. So some of the mistakes I made was the aspect of mixing my chemical. There are times whereby my soda is always more than the sulfite, and the result of that is either your fabric come out looking bleached, like a cloth you've been wearing for a very long time, or some parts of the material get turned off, like you start seeing holes and everything, like it messes up the material. Then another mistake I've made is the aspect of pricing. Like I used to like down charge or down price rather. You get, so like I don't give them good price because I believe, okay, I'm just starting, or okay, my fabric is not good enough, let me just give them a very cheap price so that they can patronize me no matter what. So that's another mistake I made. Then another thing is the aspect of delivery. When I started, I used to deliver late, and that is not good for business. Punctuality is the soul of business. So as a business person, you have to be punctual. When you say you want to deliver so day, you must always be on point. But now all that is no more.
All thanks to the internet, Binuyo was able to learn more by watching instructional videos on YouTube, reach out to big shots in Adira making for advice, and market his services.
Social media has actually been my biggest platform so far, because with the little knowledge I had in digital marketing, because I once worked with an editorial that taught me how to use Instagram to market my business. And ever since then, I've been growing my business through Instagram and Facebook. And there is this app they call Canva, which I use to edit text. After designing my fabric and it's ready for dispatch, I take a picture, I put them on Snapseed, I put my brand name on it, I edit the pictures, I use Photoshop to correct the picture quality and everything. Then I put them on Instagram, and another thing I did was I linked my Instagram and my Facebook together. So whenever I'm posting on my Instagram page and my hashtag, it reflects on my Facebook. Then another thing I did was I opened Google My Business, because I believe sometimes people don't know where to go to get Adira fabric. They tend to like, okay, I don't know who is into this, and it's also kind of material, I don't know how to get it. So instead of just walking down the street to see if you will find something like that, just go online, go to your Google, type Adira Kampala Nation. It will bring it up. Our page will definitely pop up. You get, so on that Google My Business, I have the opportunity to create a temporary website where I post all the different kinds of design that I've already made and the kind of write-ups I create about them, because most of the time when I design, I use each and every design to tell a story. You understand? So when I make all this story, I post them on my Google My Business, and it reflects on my temporary website. One thing that helped my business when I started was the use of photography, because I have a little bit of idea of photography. Because I had a friend I stayed with for 6 months, and he's a photographer. I am Ara photography, so he puts me through some stuff. So like I take pictures from a very good angle, I edit them on a mobile Photoshop, I put them online. So originally the pictures are not all that cool, they are not bright enough, but when I put them online, they look wow. So that was how I was able to like promote my business a bit, and at the same time, behind the scene, I was striving to develop myself and like do more practicals to like learn from my mistakes. So those things I know I'm not doing right, I talk to people that are like my mentor, that is Adira and they tell me what I'm doing wrong. And that was how I started getting this.
Binuyo did more than learn the ropes of Adira making. He also learned how to design fabrics for clients based on their personality.
Sometimes clients are always like confused about, okay, I don't know how the pattern should be. At least you are the designer, so you should know what to do. So they trust me to do a very good job for them. So what I do is I try to get familiar with them. When I get familiar with them, we talk. I try to like get to know their likes and dislikes, their favorite color and all those things. So most times when I know them well, I design based on their personality. Like somebody that is bossy, for example, I design something like blue for you. Because blue is classic and bossy. You know, when you wear blue on a Monday morning and you're looking good and all that. Because what matters most is your confidence. Because when you look good, you'll be confident, and if you don't look good, you feel, okay, am I okay, you understand? So somebody that is like jovial, always happy, lively person, I could design something like yellow and orange, something like that, bright colors. So that's how I design for my clients.
This young entrepreneur faces challenges with funding, but he says the bigger problem for him is delivering a quality job to his clients.
Here in Nigeria, we don't really produce more of good quality cotton material, and we need probably the government or those that are into the textile industry to help us work more on the kind of quality textile material we can be getting. Because if you look around, most of the things we see is polyester or material that are not 100% cotton, and this is very bad for our business. For people like me, I don't want to necessarily probably want to go into buying Ankara that's already printed and dyeing it and using it. Though it comes out beautiful, yes, but I want to create pattern right from scratch, like different kinds of artistic expression and I want a material that will bring out the beauty of what I'm doing, and it's only with a very good cotton material or linen, Guinea brocade that we can use to do things like this. So we need probably the government or the textile industry to work more on this aspect so that we can get good and quality material so we can meet the satisfaction of our customers.
But Binuyo is brave enough to look beyond the present. He's currently in talks with fashion stores to supply them with his Adira designs and has bigger plans in the works.
Another new trend we want to bring in is concept of making Adira shoe from scratch, Adira bags, backpacks, flight bag, body bags, all kinds of bags and shoes, like accessories basically. So now, like, I've been talking to some people that makes most of these things, like handmade bags, handmade shoes. I've been speaking with them. I've been doing my visibility study, what is going to cost me. And by the grace of God, anything from March on our Instagram page where you check at Adira, you start seeing things like this, all these new trends will start coming out. Because I already have people that makes bags, like different kinds of bags, even the ones you can use as souvenir, like purse, like fashion bags, name it, all kinds of accessories. And very soon we start doing something like earrings. Then you start seeing glasses that has Adira handles. They are coming out strong.
This business might be a challenge for him to manage, especially with school to think of as well. But Binuyo says he's happiest while communing with art. And that's it from here on Startups on TV360 Nigeria. Thanks for watching and bye for now.